today it's a Netflix Netflix review crew. Yes, forgot it. Sorry, it's been a while since we updated our videos.
Somebody's been refusing to make them.
Well, it's just that when you want to do videos, it's kind of like random times, like when I'm in the shower.
Whenever
or
I'm ready to watching a movie.
Okay, but today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the movie Noctural Animals. When do we go and see this in theaters?
Hell, I can't remember. We saw it like December, I want to say December like 5th. Sometime around then.
Yeah. So it's still out in theaters if you want to watch it.
The movie is directed by Tom Ford, the fashion designer. I thought it was a totally different Tom Ford, but he did a good job. Some of the symbolism's really overt. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it. It's got Amy Adams, who is also in Interstellar.
No, not Arrival.
Arrival, not Interstellar.
And yes, I didn't know it was by Tom Ford either. Did you want to describe what the premise of the movie?
Yeah, the premise of the movie, you think it's a story of a murder mystery, but it's actually a story of revenge. And, of course, it's going to contain spoilers, but it is a very good story of revenge. I don't want to go too deep into it, but there's a lot of, what can I say? There's a parallel story of Amy Adams and an off-screen Jake Gyllenhaal's relationship. It's more Amy Adams' personal life. She's a art curator or whatever, and she doesn't have a very happy lifestyle. She's got plenty of money, but she's got a husband that doesn't really love her.
She's not very satisfied.
Yeah, you find out he's cucking her pretty early in.
Cheating on her, if you guys don't know what cucking means.
And she is obsessed with this book written by her ex-husband, who's played by Jake Gyllenhaal. And in the book, Jake Gyllenhaal stars as a character who is this father of this family who it viscerally gave me a visceral reaction. I was just sweating. That's the only way I can describe it. I was sweating. I was so angry watching this failure of a man let his family get taken from him.
But at the same time, I think that was his intention.
Oh, that was
because
the point. I didn't
he wanted to make the character in the book like an over-exaggerated version of him, like
of himself.
Of himself.
Of how pathetic he was.
Yeah, and how he let Amy Adams' character roll over on him and do shitty things to him. But I'm not going to get too deep into. Well, you said the movie will contain this review. Will contain spoilers.
You find out that later that Amy Adams got taken by some guy in a green Ford Mustang. I think it was a Mustang, and has their baby aborted, killed, and then it's taken away from him. And Jake Gyllenhaal's in the real world character. What was his name? Tony?
Edward.
Edward. Tony was the book version of himself. Allowed it to happen. So everything that happens in the book is a super exaggerated version of that. His family gets taken from him. His wife and daughter get killed.
Symbolic, really.
Yeah,
Symbolic.
Yeah. And he is so pathetic. Like he's falling in the dirt, landing on his face, trying to go after him. Oh God, it was just painful to watch. And before it really clicked for me that this is supposed to be symbolic of how he saw himself, I was like, oh my God, who would write a book like this? Because it was so pathetic. He was so pathetic. God.
Well, the book was nihilistic in a way, which I really liked. It was a very nihilistic film. And when I was watching the movie, I didn't know what was reality and what was fiction, really. I mean, the way that Tom Ford edited this movie was just amazing. It was spectacular. I loved the transition. It wasn't choppy at all. It was just seamless. It was perfect. And for me, I'm surprised that I don't hear more about this movie. This was an amazing movie. I liked the story. I liked the premise. I liked the design of the movie. It was cool.
Something I like to point out. Tom Ford gave an interview about the first 5 minutes of the movie. And the first 5 minutes of the movie has a lot of really grotesquely fat chicks dancing naked. And,
yes, this movie is not for the faint of the heart. It's not a movie that you would like bring a big group of friends to watch with you. It's not like a fun movie. It's one of those movies where you have to really sit and think about it, and it's really cool. I mean, it's not like a fun, it's not a family movie, you know. It's just something that you go in and you just take it all in, and you make these connections throughout while you're watching it, and I think that's a real treat for the viewer.
Some of those connections, though, like there's a scene where it shows Tony's wife is dead, laying on a couch in a desert, and then later it shows Amy Adams, who's worried about her daughter, calling her daughter, and her daughter's laying in the same pose. There's really no purpose for that symbolism there. It was just a mirrored image, and I guess it's supposed to look amazing, but it's like, what's the point? Kind of like...
it was... I mean, some parts were kind of like hammed up, like you just mentioned, like
just really obvious.
There
like,
was,
do you get it? It's about revenge. Do
yeah,
you get it?
like there was a part where Amy Adams is like walking up the stairs, I guess, at her workplace, and like she stops and looks at a piece of art and it says revenge, and it's just like, come on now, like we all know what this movie's about.
Put
we
it
know,
together at that point. And then there was like a jump scare where she's looking at a baby monitor and sees the bad guy from the book on the baby monitor. And it's like, you know,
like
it's like, okay, you cheapen the whole movie, Tom Ford. You really didn't need that.
Well, I don't see it like Paul sees it. I mean, yeah, it was like, really, like, why would you put this in a movie? But overall, I really love the premise of it. I'm not gonna tell you guys the ending. I want you guys to watch this movie for yourself because I really enjoyed it, and I feel like you guys who are watching this video need to watch it. It's a real treat. It's a real treat for this year in movies, you know.
I thought it was good. If you go into it like I did, you know, you'll get an emotional reaction. And I was ready to just stop watching because it was pissing me off. But that's the whole point. It's meant to
make you feel what Jake Gyllenhaal's character went through.
You know, make you feel helpless and weak almost. But about the beginning of the movie, I wanted to cover this. Tom Ford in an interview said it was symbolic of the freedom and the openness that the women felt. They didn't care about how they looked and how Amy Adams can't. She's got to keep this image and be so reserved.
Oh, the fat chicks dancing, opening.
But really, I think the whole point was to show how stupid and goofy the art world is.
Yeah, like how pretentious.
Because all the women and the different people in this organization where she worked for are a bunch of pretentious losers.
And Amy Adams's Susan is her name. Amy Adams' character. Susan's inner circle are a bunch of like pretentious, like artsy fartsy kind of people, and I think that's what he wanted to highlight, is how pretentious this.
But I don't think Tom Ford was going to say that on live TV and make the gross fat women that danced for his movie feel bad.
Yeah, but another part of the movie that I really liked was in the movie. Tony, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, he meets the sheriff that is helping him find the people who did this to his wife and his daughter. I really like the guy who played the sheriff. He was a real badass. I think he was my favorite character. And the sheriff is a representation of the courage that Edward needed to have. You know, and
it's funny is that when it came down to the wire, the sheriff in the movie had cancer and would get sick, but he got sick when the moment came for Tony to really do what it needed to be done. So it was literally his courage was leaving him at random times. He was vacillating in what he needed to do. So it was pretty swift.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if the actor who plays sheriff is going to be up for Oscar or something. Or this movie might be up for Oscar.
It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and Jake Gyllenhaal did a fantastic job. in acting. He played a pathetic loser, great, and they shit on Jake at the Oscars.
Yeah, just like they did in Nightcrawler and all his other films.
Now,
and
they'll say Amy Adams was performance of the year. Oh God, let's give her 12 Oscars.
She's doing the damn thing though. She's in this movie. She's in Arrival.
Arrival should have never left.
Arrival. That's another review. If you guys want us to review Arrival, just leave it down in the comments below.
We're gonna review it anyways. We're gonna knock this out.
Well, to tie it all in and to, I don't know.
I give it 4 Jake Gyllenhaals out of 5 boners.
I will give it a 5 out of 5 because it was a real treat for me to watch. It really made me think and was really different. I mean, it's not a film that I was expecting, you know. It's not a film that's necessarily a fun film to watch. It really made me think, and it really made me
angry.
Yeah, it made me feel all these. It was an emotional roller coaster for me watching this film, but it was so satisfying in the end.
It did such a good job at that. Yeah. It did such a good job that it really did not need some of the just blatant "do you get it yet" moments. I mean, you had it. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like farting during a perfect date. You fucked it up. You fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, otherwise perfect film. So
go in and watch it.